Well, hi everybody, and Happy New Year. It's great to be back with you again. Boy, what a busy year. I mean, we have really been busy. I haven't seen home but a couple of times. I think it was only for hours in the month of December until December the 24th. Actually, the 25th, I got in just a little after midnight. Had a great time with the family at Christmas, and I'm so thankful for that, and I trust that you all did too. I'm at Heidi's house, my daughter. My mom and I left yesterday and decided to maybe try to beat the traffic a little bit on I-75. That didn't work. I think everybody else thought of that too, or there are just so many people traveling. But it was still a great time with Mom. This is a very, very special guitar. And Heidi's here. She's taking this video. She says, "Oh, Dad, maybe you should look at it first, but I want to see how you're keeping this guitar, Heidi."
Uh-oh.
This is one of the very first Doyle Dykes model Taylors, and I am still very, very partial to this guitar. I love it very much. And this was Heidi's gift. Of course, you know, Heidi's the girl with the white rose, and that's what all that was about. And if to learn more about that, you can go on my site, look at my book or whatever. But there's a story about Heidi and the white rose, the very girl taking this video today. But this is one of the first white rose guitars, and I gave this to you for Christmas, right, Heidi?
Yeah, several years ago.
Yeah. Original strings up here. Last night, Mom and I were trying to find some on the radio that was live for New Year's, New Year's Eve, and everything was just taped. And finally, I thought, we were in Georgia and South Georgia. We cut across, go through Waycross to get to Jacksonville. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere sometimes, Okefenokee Swamp, that whole thing. But we were listening to the radio, and I said, well, let's see what's on WGN. And Steve and Johnny were on. It was the only live show we could really find, that had anything to do with New Year's, and it was them. And I texted her, and she said, oh, can you be on the radio with us? And so Mom and I got in, I think, a little after 1 o'clock her time, 1:30, something like that. And she said, well, can you be on after 1 o'clock? I said, sure. Well, I forgot it. They were Central Time, and so I thought, oh, wait a minute, it's after 2 their time. And so, but they put me on the radio, and it was great. And we talked a little bit about some highlights. There wasn't enough time for that, but one of the highlights of the year was being in their book called A Little More Less, and it's about Les Paul. And Tommy Emmanuel did a thing on it, and a lot of our friends that are guitar players and guitar geeks, just like me. And it's a wonderful book. You should get that. But some of the highlights last year, well, number one, I'm very, very thankful for our family and our new granddaughter. Emmy Lou is just as cute as she can be. She had a few little health things going on, but she's doing very well. She's just perfect. And Haley also had an operation on her throat. She still has her voice. I'm very, very thankful. We're so thankful for things. It was a rough year last year. Maybe some of you went through some difficulties, but God got us through that, and we're a bit stronger, I think, in some areas than even before. Some other things I did, I started on a new album, and it has the kids on it, and we did this. And I was going to get out before Christmas, and all the kids sang, "Won't you ride in my little red wagon?" And my Uncle Doyle, we found some tape footage of him, and I was named after him. Most people in the business called him Smitty Smith. Everybody at the Grand Ole Opry knew him. I mean, people like, of course, Roy Clark, Grandpa Jones, Little Jimmy Dickens, and when I get to talking about my Uncle Doyle, I mean, they just went off. They'd talk an hour about him. My namesake, they called him Smitty Smith, one of the greatest musicians I'd ever heard. And I found some old footage of him, and he was singing that song. Then we added Haley, then we added the grandkids. And that's going to come out this year. Also have some great footage of him actually playing. Now this is not video footage, but audio. I don't know how to say it because it's reel-to-reel tape. but it's very good quality. And him playing the harmonica, unbelievable. Just absolutely never heard anybody like him. And so we're going to put that out this year. I'm working on a new hymns record as well. And I still have some other things in the can. Eric Johnson and I I did a thing with him. It's his project. He's coming out with a new acoustic record, and we played the world is waiting. You know that song? Oh, just wonderful stuff. Eric is a Mozart. He's an incredible musician and writer. But when you get him on those old songs, he just surprised the daylights out of me. The guy just never stops. He just keeps surprising me with things. He's just a wonderful musician. Also went out with did something my kids said, Dad, we never thought you'd ever do anything like this again. Get on the bus with a bunch of guys, and it was a lot of fun with the Booth brothers. I had so much fun with them. They were a real highlight of my year in 2015. I had a chance to work on a number of shows with them around, and when they first said, why don't you just get on the bus with us sometime and go on a weekend, and I thought, well, I'd probably never happen, but we made it happen. I had so much fun, I did it several times. And so anyway, perhaps we'll do more of that in 2016. But and they're some of the finest guys I've ever met. At the end of the year, too, I felt impressed to ask Mark Jones to join me on my Texas tour. That was not a mistake. That was, I believe, directed by God. It was an amazing thing. He was such a blessing to our friends, and they're like family, actually, out in Texas. And we had such a wonderful time out there, and he went over really great. And he played banjo, in fact, played Grandpa's banjo, the same banjo he played when I was with Grandpa Jones in the 70s. Mark owns that banjo. And he did the Christmas guest every night and told stories about his dad. And it was just a part of the program that there was just no way that you could duplicate that with anybody else but him. I mean, it just went really, really well, and I'm so proud that we did that. And then came home to my family. Rita and I have been married 42 years now, and we have 4 kids, 5 grandkids, and they're all doing well. I'm very, very thankful. I'm looking forward to this year. Now unto him who is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. And that's a very key to this thing. So allow God's power to work and to flow in your life, and I believe he'll do things that way beyond. I mean, you'll look at this next year and say, boy, Doyle's right. I can't believe all this happened to us. Trust God. And I do also believe that my little while, and for a lot of you, my little while is here. My little while, in a little while, the Bible tells us in 1 Peter chapter 5, I believe it's verse 10, and after you have suffered for a little while, and actually it says in a little while that God will cause things to come into fruition into your life. In fact, he says he will strengthen and establish you and ground you securely, and he will settle you. And so I believe that for my own life, and to see some things that I've been waiting for a while. And the God of all grace, who has called you to his own eternal glory in Christ Jesus, will himself complete and make you what you ought to be. And perhaps 2016 will happen. You'll finally find that direction in your life. I'm so proud of my son too. Caleb graduated. He's going on to finish his college, his 4-year degree, but he found some direction and has just done excellent in the area of criminology. He loves 2 things, music and criminology. And so, we can't set a path for everybody. Everybody's different. They have to find their own way. This is your year, I believe, to find that. And just trust God and believe for that. I know I am, and I believe this will be a wonderful year for you. Thanks, Heidi, for being my camera girl.
Absolutely.
I love you, girl.
Love you.
White Rose for Heidi. And we're going to make it happen in a lot of different cities and music, and hope you'll come out and see me and visit. Let's spend some time together. God bless. Thanks so much. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.